Speak up, reach out, go vote, show out.
From your neighbor to City Hall.
Reach out, go vote, show out.
Serving people is what it's all about.
Reach out, go vote, show out.
Frankfort Civic Proud.
Speak up, reach out, go vote, show out.
From Capitol Halls to Bourbon Balls, this is the City of Frankfort podcast. For the Frankfortians, we're swapping stories, spilling the tea, and celebrating the quirks that make Kentucky's capital the best hometown around. Welcome to the City of Frankfort podcast. I'm Alex, and today we have the honor of being joined by Erika Hancock, State Representative for the 57th District, which includes Frankfort, Greater Franklin County, from Farmdale to Big Eddy, Flag Fork, everywhere in between. Erika is also a fellow Frankfortian, and we're so lucky to have her on the podcast today. Welcome, Representative Hancock.
Thank you, Alex. I'm so excited to be here.
It's so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's let them get to know you. Tell us about your background and what got you to this point, your path to public office.
Okay. Well, I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Northern Kentucky.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I did, but I've been here. Jeff and I met in college. So we met at Moorhead. So he's my college sweetheart. When he graduated, I transferred to UK and finished my degree at UK. So I have a degree in communications. And then shortly after we got married, Sally Hill Stumbo, State Farm, asked me to take over her agency when she retired.
Cool.
Very reluctantly. I was like, heck no. I was just married. I was young. I didn't really want the responsibility, but Jeff was like, you need to do this. It was a great decision. And I was one of the youngest State Farm agents ever hired.
Cool.
Especially female.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
good. So at 22, I started my State Farm practice.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly had a family. I have a daughter, 22, and a son, 18. And Derek has been an insured of mine for 23 years. So when Derek announced his retirement in December 1st of, I can't even tell you what year it's been now, we were just scrambling for who was going to step up.
Uh-huh.
You know, Frankfort has been very fortunate with good leaders in our house of representatives, including Uncle Hank, which was my uncle, who was up there from the mid-70s to the mid-90s.
Huh.
So it was kind of a natural fit for, actually, Jeff's name came up a couple times because we knew he could win elections. Kelly Lang, Teresa Barton, several people that just were tired of the political division and they didn't want to do it. So I literally looked at Jeff and I was like, well, what about me? You know, I don't have to give up my job. The kids are grown, so I have some extra time. And Jeff literally was like, well, that's not the dumbest thing you've ever said. And I tell this story because it was inauguration and Jeff was setting up the parade and we walk the dogs every morning. And I was walking around the Capitol and I was like, okay, like, give me something to say this is what I'm supposed to do. And I look over and Derek and Mildred are getting out of their car, which I've never seen them in that parking lot before. And I walk it every day. So I ran down and looked at Derek. I was like, Derek, I think I'm going to do this. And he was like, okay. And then that's the rest of the story. Yeah, it was really cool
to know.
It is. And I picked the color purple and like I would see, you know, Mark on the campaign trail, like knocking on doors. I would just kind of see these little nods of purple to tell me this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Oh
so
my gosh, I love that.
I fell into the public service, but I really think it's a good fit for me.
Yeah,
so,
I do too. I
yeah.
agree. I mean, you kind of answered this question, but what made you first interested? Was it just really just I can do this?
It was a scary, well, that's how I do everything, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, why not? And it was scary, you know? I think that's probably the biggest lesson I tell anyone is that don't hesitate if an opportunity presents itself, because sometimes those opportunities will go away quickly.
Yeah.
And just do it. And I did. And a few years back, I remember watching some sessions and I like noticed, I was like, there needs to be more women up there. Like we need more women in leadership. And that was years ago. And I knew I'm not really going to change my career with State Farm. So it was just a natural thing for me to do to better me for the good of everybody. It is a lot.
That's 2 full careers.
It is a lot.
Kids. I don't care how grown they are. You still got kids, you know?
There has definitely been some growing pains.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, definite growing pains.
So just walk us through a day, especially like during session. I'm assuming that's when you're a lot busier. What's just like behind the scenes? What's your day look like?
Well, so session, this is the long session that we just finished. It is, so it's every day of the week. Mondays we gavel in at 4. Usually we caucus as a Democratic caucus about an hour before to kind of discuss what bills are coming to the floor. On a typical day, I have 15-minute appointments back to back from about, this year I actually don't do anything before 10 because I've missed my gym time, so I'm trying to do some self-care.
You've got to
in the
have
morning.
a little you time, don't you? Yeah.
So, by the time I get there, it's just activist groups, constituent groups, people advocating from anything to public schools to, mental health organizations. I mean, it's every 15 minutes.
And you're just there to listen and take it in?
Take it in and ask them what they need. A lot of this past was just budget asks, money that the state can fund some of their programs. And then we would gavel, we caucus. I try to shove in lunch. They feed you all the time up there, so you get free lunch. And then we go to caucus and discuss what bills are hitting the floor and how we can strategize around that. And then we go to the floor, and however long that takes.
Super late sometimes.
Well, towards the end, it's midnight or 1 o'clock. Yeah. I mean, it's real intense, and I'm not. It'll be interesting to see how that changes as the tides up there change too. Yeah. But then after you leave, there's always some sort of reception around town, which I'm sure Frankfort has seen. Every night there's some sort of reception. Either at the Foundry, we've had them at the Delegate.
Do you like that? Do you feel obligated, or like are you ready to just go home and take your shoes off?
I am ready to go home and take my shoes off. But I think it's so important, one, as the Frankfort rep.
Yeah.
To welcome these folks in Frankfort, to be the hostess for Frankfort, and to showcase it as their second home. And so a lot of guys, like the Senate side or some of the other reps are there, that you can get to know them more on a social basis.
Yeah, I didn't think about it in that. You're really in a cool position. It's kind of like your home party.
I love it. So this year, actually, and I'm going to do this every year, the first day everybody came back, I invited all 138 members to the house. Because we live right by the Capitol, and I want them to love Frankfort as much as I do. Mm-hmm. And I know they do, but I want them to realize, treat this like your second home, because it is.
Right.
So we're going to do that as I'm the Frankfort rep. I want people to know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Jeff loved that part. Thank goodness for local catering companies.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to cook for all those people.
I didn't cook for that.
What's your favorite part? What's your absolute favorite part?
Helping people.
Yeah. You can tell with your personality.
Oh, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the resources available at the LRC, like I had an instance where somebody's propane tank was out.
Oh.
And Elise York, she's Frankfort gal, runs the Constituent Services Department, and it is top notch. You send them what they need, they figure it out, they have all the connections, they have all these resources available. That has been my favorite part. One of my father-in-law's friends in Florida was having a health insurance issue, and she had gotten kicked off of it. Well, within 15 minutes, I had it fixed. And she called me like crying. She was so grateful.
Yeah.
Those are the things that
little things. It just, people need help.
Just being able to do that is amazing. And the resources up there are amazing. So yeah, helping people.
That. I should have known that was going to be an answer. I can tell by your personality. That's just great.
I do it at State Farm though too. So I mean, and that's why this transition has been.
And with that job, you kind of see when people need help. Yeah. You know what that's like. So that's cool.
I do.
What's been something that's surprising or shocking? Like the when you got into it, probably early on, were you like, what in the world?
That there's more good legislation that goes through than bad.
Yeah.
That there are a lot of,
because we only hear about the bad, don't we? A lot of times.
That's really, I joke with them a lot because Frankfort, the city, gets blamed a lot for their shenanigans up there. And I'm like, guys, you're representing Frankfort up here. Right. It's my town. Don't behave. So I think that's been more surprising to me, is how many just really good people across the aisle are willing to work with me. Yeah. And that's been good. So there's a lot of really great legislation that gets passed.
That's great. That's good.
Yeah.
Let me see. You serve on lots of committees within this. Let me see. Elections, natural resource and energy, public retirement and finance, banking and insurance, and tobacco settlement agreement fund oversight.
Yes.
Do you hear my little slang? Tobacco. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a mouthful.
It is.
You do a lot. What legislative stuff have you achieved from working on these committees that you're both proud of? Have I missed any? Have I missed
I think so.
You do a lot.
Well, I always joke because I am from Frankfort that anytime they need somebody to sit on a panel or to do something, they're like, well, just get Erika. She's in town. She'll run down there.
Yeah, she'll do it. She's close.
I looked up. I was on a panel with the president of the Senate, the House majority leader or minority leader in the Senate, the majority whip in the House, and me. I was like,
wow.
I'm just the token Frankfort girl that just gets invited.
They just have super confidence in you. I love it. That's cool. What's been your most proud of? What do you think? Being involved in those committees.
So this past session that we passed a bill that I was a part of, co-sponsor. I do a lot of the banking and insurance space just because it's something I know about.
Sense. Yeah.
And it was a public adjuster bill. And I don't know if you're familiar with public adjusters, but these guys are known to be sort of predatory when it comes after a storm. And they basically go in and say, we're going to negotiate with your insurance company to get you more money. But it ends up costing the customer more money because the insurance companies, most of the time, pay the claim with the valid and the merits of the claim. And if not, that's when I, as an agent, would get involved and just take care of that for my customer. Well, these guys come in and charge 10 to 15% to do that on top of their deductible. So the cost just, so we're like limiting them and banning them in the state because they typically are predatory and they are like ambulance chasers of storms.
They're swindling you in a difficult downtime, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm known as the sunshine up there, across the aisle and all up there. So it was my first really debate with the public adjuster that came up there. And they were all like, oh, Erika, like we did not know you were this spicy. And I was like, well, yeah. And I shut it down and we ended up passing the bill. But that was kind of fun to kind of put somebody in his place. That was
when the time and the place is, you got to be spicy, don't you? Yeah, so I love that. That's
was
cool.
Fun. And I do a lot in elections because of my husband. We have the best run elections in the country, in the state here. And it's because of folks like Jeff being the clerk. The Clerks Association is amazing. So being able to be a part of those conversations too. The interesting one, the Tobacco Settlement Agreement Fund Oversight Committee, is a committee that when 25 years ago, when we were really pushing people to get off cigarettes, it was that big push. And so they came in and it was a settlement fund created that 50% goes to, I think, health and education. And then there's some that go to children and then there's some that go to ag. Okay. So the money, and it's a percentage of sales of tobacco. So it'll eventually dwindle down, but that oversight committee is just making sure that the money that we appropriate of that committee gets funded correctly and spent correctly. So that's been kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
I've learned natural resources and energy. I've learned about the craziest technology. I have learned so much up there.
I want to just come and sit in and listen.
Yeah, it's interesting. Wow. It definitely is interesting.
What are some of the challenges you see in state legislature that, affect folks in your district, specifically in your area, or like initiatives that the state should take?
My priorities are working families, teachers.
You can relate.
State workers, state retirees. I mean, these are my folks.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of living in Frankfort. So many people are so engaged.
You walk by them every morning when you walk your dog.
LRC is a bunch of my constituents. So fighting for the things that I think is just so like what we should be doing and seeing how they don't do it is definitely the biggest challenge.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's just hearing it makes me.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I fight the good fight every day.
Yeah, please keep doing
it.
What is your view on the relationship between, obviously I work for the city, so I work for local government. I'm passionate about where my kids are raised and that sort of thing. What do you view state and local government, specifically like the Frankfort community working together with state government?
I think we have the best leadership probably in our lifetime right now. I mean, I think Lane, Michael, me, and Jay Williams, I work well with across the aisle. We have great leadership locally that they make my job so much easier.
Yeah.
I think we work very well together. And, projects like the convention center that we need, we've been working on that quite a bit. The Singing Bridge, getting that money together. And Lane's up at the cap, when they're up there, they get me involved and we make sure we're all on the same page and have the same agendas so that we can get it across the finish line. So no, I love it.
You feel good about that
I
relationship.
love that.
Yeah.
Yes. And our city commissioners, our magistrates, everybody's great.
Yeah.
So
I've kind of got this feeling from you, but what do you feel like motivates you as an individual to serve publicly? Like even, obviously you have lots of difficulties outside of your control with the situation you're in. What do you feel like motivates you to do this?
I'm probably different because being in Frankfort, I know the expectation of listening. So I call everybody back. I mean, I spend hours calling people back.
I can only imagine.
Email, answering emails. Well, Uncle Hank says it's the best. People don't care what you know. They just want to know that you care. And I care about these people. I care about the community. I want to make their lives better. I mean, that's the whole job, is what the state government should be, making people's lives better where we can, educating our children. That's what motivates me every day,
right?
Is knowing that my folks have a voice. And I feel like I've done well with that up there.
Yeah, I think you're good I think everybody's passionate about different things, but I think sometimes people just want you to listen to them.
Yeah.
So when they get it off their chest, they're good to go.
Yeah.
They just want you to hear them.
And I mean, it's scary right now.
Yeah.
I mean, in our world.
It is.
I mean, I think, I have people calling and going, I can't take, there was a cap in House Bill 500 that we got removed, but the employer contribution for health insurance was going to be capped at 5%. Well, the rate was going to go up 70. So folks were going to have a potential 60% increase in their health insurance. And while I know that there's an issue with the health insurance in the state, we got to go upriver with those issues and figure out how we can get the cost down, not just kick the can to the
another point.
And they don't see these folks like I do. They don't see state workers like I do. And I hate the way that they're treated, and I want them to know that they are appreciated and they have a voice up there.
They're seen and they're heard. Yeah.
Yep.
So how do your interactions with constituents influence your work?
Oh, it's the
Is
best.
it just light a fire?
It's the best part of my day.
Yeah.
When I'm having a beat my head against the wall day, when I call my people back, and they're just like, a lot of times they're even shocked that I've called them back. And I'm like, well, this is what you all hired me to do.
Right.
And I remember my primary opponent, Christy, because she worked in constituent services, and one of her things was people don't feel heard. And I was like, I will fix that.
Yeah.
Because I want everybody to know I do hear you.
You hear them.
Mm-hmm. Even the folks that I probably politically don't align with, and the things that they're asking me to do, I still call them back and have a little bit of a
Deep
debate.
down, they appreciate that you called them back.
They do.
Even
And
if they disagree.
I'm like, in one instance was the 10 Commandments in school. And I was like, I just don't agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that my constituent base as a whole doesn't agree with that. And do I think I have constituents that do think that should? Of course, but that's not the majority of my constituents.
Right.
And I just explain it that way.
Yeah.
But
just talk it out.
yeah,
Right.
We can agree we got to bring that back. I mean, one of the things I ran on was civility. And just some of the conversations we had before about the hateful nature that politics has, and just removing yourself from that part and trying to see somebody as a human being and try to find that common ground. And I can find common ground in just about everybody. And I do that.
I feel like people now are just like, politics, they're hate. That's just, they just take it for what it is. It's ugly and hateful. And I agree. I don't think it has to be that way.
It doesn't have to be.
We can find a way for it not to be like that.
It really doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
And I've had several interactions with folks up there that I had one woman who she had a really hard bill on the floor last session. And I walked up to her afterwards, and it was in DEI. It was something that I'm passionate about, but she clearly was not, and it passed. And a lot of people felt attacked by it. But I walked up to her and I was like, I'm sure that was hard. And she kind of said something snippy back, and I just kind of let it go. And about a week later, she came up to me in the cafeteria and she's like, you have a real reputation up here for being nice and easy to work with. And I'm like, shouldn't that be all of us?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice if everybody was
Basic
like
human
that?
decency. Bring that back. So
yeah.
I think that's what I bring to up there.
Let's switch hats a little bit.
Yeah.
So now that session's over, what will a day in your life look like now?
Go back to normal. Go back
Will
to
it really
State Farm.
though? Will it really?
Well, I think in the interim, I'm just as busy. I still go to the Capitol.
Yeah.
Because I return phone calls or go to events or speak at school.
I bet you still have just as many phone calls.
I do.
People are just.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. But I like that part. It's not as I get home before 9 o'clock every night. I'll take a little bit of time off and do nothing.
Do stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
Spend time at home.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just back to, and I'll go to State Farm every day. I mean, I worked out this last time to just be Mondays and Fridays in my State Farm office, because what I was doing is doing too much back and forth, and I was dropping balls everywhere. So I'm really, really, really lucky with the two girls at my office who hold the fort down when I'm not there to be able to do this. So
way to go, girls! Girl power.
I know, they're the best.
What's the best way for your constituents to reach out to you? Questions or concerns? How can they get a hold of you?
I've had napkins. I've had messaging. I think the easiest for me is an email.
Okay.
Because then it doesn't get lost. And it's Erika, ERIKA, .Hancock at kylegislature.gov.
kylegislature.gov. Okay.
But my cell phone number's on there too.
That's generous.
People call me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my cell phone, I give that out.
Are you just out to dinner with your husband? Do people just come up all the time and ask you, "Hey, can you?"
The grocery store is a different ballgame.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. But I signed up for it, and I like that. I like to be able to help, and I think that that's who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And I've never felt more like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be right now.
It seems like it's fulfilling for you.
Yeah. It is.
It should be.
It is.
I like that.
Yeah, it is. I love meeting people. I love watching how people interact, and it is interesting.
I can only imagine.
People environment.
I want to be a fly on the wall. Okay. Thank you so much for your leadership in our community and across the Commonwealth, especially coming here today.
Yeah.
We like to end each of our shows with Frankfort. This is a fun part.
Okay,
this is a good part.
I think the whole thing has been fun. I don't know what you're talking about.
Rapid fire. Yeah. So we just want to hear, I'll ask you questions. You don't have to give an explanation. Just the first thing that comes to your mind, whatever you think of. And they're all Frankfort oriented. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's go. Best way to explore Frankfort's trails, hiking or biking?
Hiking.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. What's your favorite local event? Ooh, this might be hard.
I have to say, I love Downtown Concert Series.
Mm-hmm.
That's always fun. But we're normally out of town in the summer because we go to the lake. So we have missed that. But Bourbon on the Banks is incredible.
And again, I bet concerts, Bourbon on the Banks, any of that. Do you ever get to do anything, or do you just stop every few feet because people are talking to you and asking you questions?
I still join in and have a bourbon. But that, and I do love, I think Susie Burgess, I call her Susie Burgess. Susie Hosley. Forever she will be Susie Burgess. Does an amazing job with the downtown
She's one of my favorite humans ever.
Witches Night Out is always a fun time.
Yeah, it kicks off at our Capital City Museum. Dr. Ellie and Susie are the
best.
Coolest people to work with.
They're the best.
I love it. It's such a cool thing. Do you have a favorite bluegrass band?
I don't, but I do enjoy every now and then when I get an opportunity to watch Rocky Adkins.
Cool. That's really cool.
Yes, he plays, I guess a banjo maybe? I can't imagine. Yeah, I think he does. He's going to kill me for not knowing that. But I always love to catch a good Rocky performance.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Favorite Frankfort landmark?
Besides my patio, and I know it's not a landmark, but maybe one day it will be. I have the best view and patio. I love it. But I will have to say just the Capitol building. This is a little personal information about me. Like after a long day, I will pull over right before where the COVID memorial is. And if you've never seen it at night, the COVID memorial is spectacular. Mm-hmm. So I'll park there and I'll listen to a little bit of music and just look at the Capitol. I mean, I hate all the construction, but it's just such a magnificent building. I hate all the things going on right now, but there's nothing prettier than our Capitol building.
Yeah, I love that it marks such a positive in you, though. You know what I mean? You go through a lot inside, so I'm glad that you don't come out bitter and hateful. That you're
people have said that I will get bitter, but
I hope you don't.
My life has been very unique and traumatic in my childhood, and I think that has made me who I am. Is I will always find the good. Always.
That's a great personality. That's great.
Thank you.
What's your favorite way to spend an afternoon in Frankfort?
I love the river.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Y'all are boaters, aren't you?
There's nothing like our river. There is nothing like an afternoon cruise up the river.
Weather warm and nice.
Yeah.
And you just can take a deep breath and enjoy what you've done.
And every time Jeff and I, because we go to the lake now quite a bit because my son wakeboards and does those things. So we don't do that on the river just because it's not big enough.
Yeah.
But it's like the river is like an old friend. Jeff and I have been going and boating. Well, he's been doing it his whole life, but since we've been I was 19 when Jeff and I met. So
I did not know that. It's such a cool fact.
I know.
Yeah.
We've been married 25 years
College
this year.
sweethearts. That's amazing.
I know.
Cool.
Yeah. So I love the river.
So the river, that's a good landmark. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us this week, fellow Frankfortians. We'll catch you again next week on the City of Frankfort podcast. Don't forget to follow City of Frankfort podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And make sure you subscribe to our show feed on Podbean or wherever you get your podcasts to get weekly episode notifications. This was great.
It was fun.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Yeah, I'll come back again.
Speak up, reach out, go, show out.